California is set up to burn again. This could surprise people. People who don't yet understand it has to be this way, that we are going to have human kings that are going to act this way. This is a great video a gentleman was reviewing. He's a podcaster. Someone sent it to him. I'm podcasting, and we're going to play that game where he references someone and I reference someone. But this could be breathtaking if you still choose to believe that Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass have any morality left. And by the way, they have different sins than I do, but I'm broken too.
Real quick, we should acknowledge that this is the San Ynez Reservoir in the Pacific Palisades. This video is from today. Thank you, local resident whose house didn't burn down. He's one of the few. Shout out Derek, who sent me this. Little concern because he knows that since this was empty, it took the helicopters an extra 66% of their time instead of fighting the fire, flying to Malibu to get water. So this looks pretty still empty. So I don't know, maybe they should get the water trucks that Rick Caruso used to save his whole entire Palisades village. Maybe they should rent some of those private water trucks, drive them up and pump some water into it because this fire season, and since California, Newsom doesn't clear any brush, and Topanga Canyon is on the other side of this with enough 40 years of fuel, as you can call it, waiting to burn.
If you watched a place like Pacific Palisades burn and you knew that the reservoirs were empty and you didn't refill them, tell me that's not a decision. Tell me this isn't a plan. Someone come to me and explain to me how this is just, oh, they forgot. Well, now they've been reminded. Oh, yeah, we should fill the reservoirs. They're not going to. They're broken in sin differently than we are. It's very risky for us to say worse than we are. Because God may have a sin in your past where he can say, really worse than you? Now, I have a real problem with that. That really bothers me sometimes about God, for real. They took lives, they took property, they're getting rich off of this. This is big, big, big business for them. You've seen the bill in California to wipe out single-family housing in Pacific Palisades and to replace it with so-called low-income housing. We'll talk about that. That's real. Building back better, as it were. It's big, big business, and big, big business always takes care of itself. Now, you may not be big business. You might be small or medium-sized business, but I have a question for you. Are you taking care of yourself and your assets? Because you've got a business, but that's your business, right? That's your LLC or your corporation. I mean, no one could sue you if you made a mistake. They'd have to sue your business, right? Or if you made a catastrophic mistake at your business and lost a lot of money, creditors couldn't go after your personal assets, could they? I mean, there's a corporation. Guys, I'm here to tell you that I don't care if you had an attorney and a tax accountant set up your corporations. I know this has happened to many people that they've realized, going back to look at their paperwork, oh, wait, my Social Security number's on this stuff. I don't have a corporate credit account. This is all personal credits. I bet that's probably you. And here's a way you can find out. It's a free, no obligation consultation with my friends at Visible. They will look at your corporate structure, they'll look at what you have, and they will tell you whether you have corporate credit or not, and whether that firewall exists or not. And I'm willing to bet it probably doesn't. Free, no obligation consultation, easy to sign up for. It's Go Visible. If it turns out you do not have corporate credit, they'll solve this for you in 7 easy steps, absolutely worth all the time and all the money. Because corporate credit doesn't just protect you, it grows more quickly. It's more useful. Your business could actually be funded by investors legally. Go to their website. It's GoBizible with a Z, gobizible.com. Don't let big business be the only ones that protect themselves. GoBizible.com. This is a California resident talking about the background in California and some of the economic facts. Then we'll get to this whole low-income housing swindle that they're trying to press down upon Pacific Palisades that, in my judgment, they allowed to burn.
Housing electricity costs double the national average. Our gas utility rates are 50% above the national average. We are a top 8 oil-producing state, yet have the highest gas prices in the country. We are 11% of the population of the United States, yet have 24% of the homeless. Proposition 1, passed in 2014, was passed so we'd build more reservoirs. Over 10 years later, not a single reservoir has been complete. It takes an average of 4.7 years to get through environmental review to do prescribed burns to prevent wildfires. Our government runs on mainframes from the 1980s. We have the highest small business renewal fees in the country. We recently spent $24 billion on the homelessness problem. Our leaders cannot tell us how that money was spent. In 2021, our population went down for the first time in our history. From 2019 to 2024, our budget grew 60%. Do you feel 60% better off? A French train company working on our failing high-speed rail project recently left for North Africa because their politics are, and I quote, less politically dysfunctional than ours. Texas, yeah, that Texas, recently blew past California in utility-scale solar power production. We can't even build the things we claim to care about.
California is not just set up to burn again with the empty and purposely left empty reservoirs. It is burning itself financially, and it has to be this way because Gavin Newsom is a human king, and Gavin Newsom knows he's a human king. There's a bill proceeding through the House and the Senate in California that would take Pacific Palisades, which had been a beautiful area for single-family homes, albeit very expensive, but okay, it's beautiful. It's going to be expensive. No more single-family homes. Apartment buildings and condos, but I'm here to tell you because I know people in this business. My uncle was in this business in an honest sense, actually providing low-income housing. The swindle is this. They go into an area like that, they build these condos and they build these apartment buildings, and behind the drywall, there is really luxurious stuff. You'll notice that the pipes are the highest quality. The wiring is the highest quality. It's set up for smart house stuff. Sometimes you go look at the fixtures in low-income housing and go, wait a minute. These are absolutely top of the line faucets and sinks and toilets. These are in the most expensive homes in the world. Why are they in low-income housing? In the separate country of Seattle, sometimes low-income housing was 100% more expensive to build than luxury housing. Why? Because of layers and layers and layers of consultants. And the game is so important to understand. This lady's talking about California, and then I'll explain the rest of the game.
We have too many people sucking off the government. I've talked about this before. I work with Section 8, okay? I have tenants that fall behind throughout the year. And so we know around tax time, those tenants that are on Section 8 will file their taxes. And meanwhile, they're on SNAP benefits. They pretty much have reduced or free rent. And a lot of them are on Social Security because they're able to get like death benefits or this, that, or whatever, that's been perverse. It was supposed to be for retirement. And our politicians were like, here, let me buy your vote and we'll open it up to more population. And they don't contribute like financially or productivity, nothing. And at tax time, I know I need to reach out to them and say, hey, you've got this balance. I know you're filing your tax return, and they're going to get a rebate. They get money back after the federal government pretty much pays for a majority of their living expenses. And so we've got a whole bunch of people that are able-bodied, can work, choose not to, and are sucking off of the system.
Daniel Gallup provided us that. That's part of the story. I work with some people who are recently out of prison, trying to help them get their lives together. They get tax refunds. One of the guys I work with just asked me to help him get his tax refund. And I don't say anything because it's not my role. I'm trying to help this guy come to Jesus. But I do want to say, dude, you didn't work. It's not a refund. Here's the rest of the story. In the separate country of Washington and in California, there is a window of time where this stuff is called low-income housing. Do you think they intend to keep condos and apartments with the views of the water that are offered in Pacific Palisades low income? No. In the separate country of Washington, the period is 7 years. After 7 years, low-income housing is now luxury housing. Everybody's gone. They move all the low-income people out. They take down the drywall, and there's the marble walls. They take out the cheap carpet, and below that is the hardwood floors. They clean it, they fumigate it, they repaint it. That's just about it. In the separate country of Washington, they locate those places on train lines because they purposely made it difficult to drive around the separate country of Seattle. They do the same thing in DC. They're going to do the same thing in California. All of a sudden, magically, what was low income is now, in fact, high income. And the low income people are shipped right out to the next area, maybe the next disaster zone. There's a reason, there's got to be a reason that California is set up to burn again.